Today, we have a special interview with mental health professional Jessica Cisneros, who is the Chief Clinical Officer at Family Houston, who's going to be shedding light on important topics related to what teachers need to know as they return to the classroom to help make this a successful year for both them and their students.
Shelly, thank you so much for having me. It's so hard to believe that summer's flown by so quickly and we're back to school soon.
I know it really has, but this heat does not make it feel like summer is ending anytime soon. Let's go ahead and dive right in, though, Jessica. To begin, could you introduce yourself and share some background of yours in the mental health field?
Certainly, yes. I am a licensed professional counselor supervisor. I've been in the field for over 15 years now. I've been with Family Houston 11 years, and I actually started out as one of the clinicians providing services to our clients. And now I'm the chief clinical officer, and I lead a great team at our agency.
Yeah, I didn't know you started out as a clinician there.
Yes.
So, thank you for sharing that. And over the course of over 4,000 sessions with more than 500 children ranging in ages from 3 to 18, our mental health clinicians have identified 5 key trends that have emerged over this last year. And we're going to talk about them today with Jessica. Can you go ahead and share that first trend with us?
Sure. Family Houston counselors have observed that many children need more individualized attention and guidance. And oftentimes, attention they receive for their disruptive behaviors can be turned into negative reinforcement for them. There are not enough routines at home, especially at the start of the school year. So sometimes these children are really having a hard time adjusting, and they need a lot of guidance to help them learn the norms of school again. According to the National Center of Education Statistics, 87% of public schools reported that COVID-19 has negatively impacted students' social emotional development. Some of this has presented itself through increased incidents in the classrooms, with disruptions of misconduct, rowdiness, inside and outside of the classroom, acts of disrespect towards teachers and staff, and prohibited use of electronic devices.
I can't even imagine just how difficult COVID-19, the impacts has been on some of those students and the teachers trying to, get back to normalcy in their classrooms and everything. What are some ways that teachers could prepare parents, or maybe the parents that are tuning in, that they could address some of those struggles?
The first is to encourage parents to establish routines such as set meal times, time for homework, and a consistent bedtime every night. Thing is keeping very active children busy in a classroom, giving them an important task, leading a line, passing out supplies. This can really help encourage them and remind them that they are important and needed in the classroom. Provide healthy lunches, snacks, and make sure that they have access to water. Now, we understand that some people might have this as a limitation, and we want to encourage to seek help, even at Family Houston, if that's something that you're struggling with.
What are some trends that y'all are hearing or seeing about parent-child conflict with family dynamics?
So I'm glad you bring that up, Shelly. We're definitely seeing an increase in parent-child conflict after the COVID-19 pandemic. We've heard from our clinicians that sometimes they see that adolescents are thinking that their authority is equal to their parents, and there's a lack of respect there. And we're really wanting to make sure that parents and teachers know that setting rules from the start is extremely important, so that they know that what they need to do to have a good school year.
What are some ways that maybe teachers could work on addressing this authority, kind of the struggle with their students?
Remain professional at all times. Sometimes for teachers, it's important to joke around with students, but I would say keep that to a minimum. I know sometimes we want to be that cool person or that cool teacher, and those behaviors sometimes send a real mixed message to students and affect that relationship. Also, treating students differently can open door to future problems, and things can be taken out of context. Treating students with equity. Not every child has the same needs. Remembering to get to know and stay attentive to student needs will help avoid future problems and negative reactions.
Actually, again, noting that difference, between equity and equality is going to be really important for, different needs of different students, and just what a difference that can make, I imagine. So I want to pivot over to something that many people, not just children or students, could relate to. Let's talk about anxiety and depression. The percentage of high school students who have experienced what people are describing as persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness has continued to increase to a staggering 42%. What are some things that y'all have seen with this?
Yes, Family Houston mental health counselors have seen young adults experience a period of grieving due to missed activities from COVID-19. You know, there were many kids that didn't get to go to their high school graduation, their prom, activities that are so important to that ending of so many years in school. We're seeing a lack of social skills present also due to the lack of interaction, a lot of extended isolation of being at home, and the inability to make significant connections is definitely a contributing factor.
What are some tips, though, that teachers could implement to support their students through this?
Yes, I think being very available to their students, being adaptable to whatever needs they have, but most of all, providing a safe environment is extremely important. Safety can be provided by creating a routine in the classroom, as I mentioned before, showing equal and equitable treatments, providing encouragement and giving praise when someone excels, addressing negative behavior privately. It's always important to remember we praise in public, but we address issues in private. Helping guide a child that is struggling academically, helping them when they get stuck. Don't put children on the spot. I know we want them to do well, and sometimes they're not listening. And as a teacher, you know, you are having your own emotions as well, especially with dealing with so many students in a classroom, and we understand that. But help a child that's struggling, guide them. Help tackle boredom, fear, anxiety with learning activities, keeping them engaged. There's nothing better to help someone feel good about themselves and their capabilities than creating opportunities for success and growth. Educating students and parents, guardians about mental health and resources to seek help. Removing the stigma about talking about mental health. I know many teachers, and I know sometimes they've mentioned that they can't even talk about mental health or share with a parent that maybe a child might need counseling. And I think we need to move away from that. That's extremely important right now.
We can also continue to remove the stigma around mental health for everyone's sake, you know? Let's kind of talk about something similar, maybe some coping mechanisms that are related to anxiety. And with the rise of marijuana around the country and all ages, are you seeing adolescents turn to this?
Yes, we're hearing from our counselors that there are many of our clients that are becoming dependent on marijuana use. Some report using marijuana recreationally, but others are reporting that they're using it to cope because it makes them feel good. Family Houston is not an expert on substance abuse, so it's important that I mention that. But in the work that we do, we definitely do hear about different use, and we'll usually refer out. We have contacts in the community that can provide drug education. The Council on Recovery is one of them, the many agencies along with others. But for teachers, here's some things to know.
Okay.
It can be hard to read signs that a student is under the influence, but it's important to stay alert and report any behavior that seems unusual. Never minimize the effects of any drug, and don't judge or make any perceptions. Instead, look for positive ways of helping.
While perceptions of marijuana are changing, that it is a drug and we need to treat it as such, especially with adolescents using it and people using it as coping mechanisms. Now, the last thing I want to touch on with you is something else that just about everyone is experiencing. You know, we're seeing inflation and cost of living just continue to rise and has been for, you know, a while now. And that impact that's hitting families is going to trickle down, I imagine, to stress on children. Are there things teachers might see with this so that they can be aware of?
Yes, I would say it's important to stay observant and attentive, approachable in and outside of the classroom. You might be one of the only people the student trusts and may go to in a time of need. Never dismiss any request. We're definitely seeing clients that are struggling even to pay co-pays at this time. And so understanding that even some of your students that you think are doing a lot better than they are may be coming to you to ask for a resource. So have resources available for those families in need. And then reach out to Family Houston to learn more about our community support services. If we are not able to help, we can refer the client or you to a partner agency to provide services.
Are there any final thoughts or messages you would like to leave our viewers with?
Yes, I mean, first off, I want to thank the teachers that are out there working every day to help our children grow in so many ways, mentally, and expand their knowledge. There are no words to repay you for everything that you do for our kids. And I hope that in some of the tips that we shared today, they're helpful to you. And we talked about them with all the respect we could as a guide towards mental health. I know we're going to continue to see more and more about mental health as we continue to move forward from this long period of the pandemic. And we are here to help you.
I hope this interview has been informative as well as offered some helpful tips for both teachers and maybe any other viewers who are watching it just to learn something new. And I hope this helps to make the school year successful for both students and teachers.
Michelle, it's been a pleasure to be a part of this discussion.
And finally, thank you to our viewers for watching. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share it with others, especially those teacher friends of yours.